So much, Rick. Hey, Governor Mike Huckabee has just joined us here on the couch, host of Huckabee here on Fox News Channel. Great to see you this morning.
Always a highlight of the show for us.
Well, we may tell you that you really need some more energy.
No, because we now know that the show is half done.
Oh, okay.
At 8 a.m. when we have you here on a set.
Tucker was making me feel so good.
No, it's true. You've actually thought through your views more than almost anybody I've ever met in my life.
Well, thank you very much.
So I'm just going to throw one to you.
Okay.
White House fudging numbers again on Obamacare, claiming many more people have signed up than have.
You know, this is why his approval ratings are at 39% and falling, because nobody believes him anymore. We know that everything we've been told about Obamacare from the White House has been untrue, whether it's keeping your doctor, keeping your insurance, the numbers are fine, the website's going to be fixed, it's going to cost you less money. None of it is proven to be true. So when he says that the numbers are really better, nobody believes it. I don't even think they believe it.
So when this tweet went out this week from the president's Twitter account that 6 million Americans have gotten covered, have you? And the Washington Post took him to task. What were your thoughts on that number?
Well, the number doesn't have any basis in reality. And every time somebody from the administration goes to Congress and testifies, and they ask them, what's the number? They can't tell them. Well, we're working on that. Well, why can't they tell them? You know, if you sell a number of items, let's say through Amazon, Amazon can tell you exactly not only what you bought, how much you paid for it, but you can track the package. Are you telling me that the federal government, with all its vast resources and its ability to even know how many phone calls I made yesterday, cannot tell me how many people have used some type of payment device to enroll in Obamacare and sign up for health insurance? It is ludicrous on its face to say they don't really know the number.
Well, and some folks are saying that they're inflating the numbers in an effort to try to get people to jump on the bandwagon. Hey, everybody's doing it. It's working. So come on. In fact, they've even gotten Richard Simmons on board with this video. Watch this.
Oh, I love it.
The people coming out, I'm not the only one coming out here to toot the horn about getting, you know, insurance, health insurance. You're going to hear a lot of different messages.
Richard, what do you got?
This is
Huckabee, your taxpayer dollars hard at work. How you feel about that?
There's just so much wrong with that on so many levels. Where do we begin?
Start with the tank top.
I mean, the question is, does this make me want to go sign up for health insurance? No, it makes me believe that we do need mental health parity in Obamacare.
It makes us all
Here's my favorite. Oh, Richard. This is paid for by taxpayer dollars to get young people to sign up. This was part of a special, a covered special. He's down on the floor going COVERED. Get covered. That's what taxpayer dollars went for, Governor.
It's unbelievable.
It may be one of the better things, though, that taxpayer dollars.
Well, that's total. That's my feeling.
You know, in the great scheme of things, I've seen worse. So, but let's go back to the idea, the numbers. The numbers have been fudged because they don't know what they are, and number two, they don't want to reveal what a big disaster this has been. And I'm not talking about the website. They knew that they needed a lot of young people. In Washington State, 9 times more people signed up for the Medicaid version than signed up for the pay version.
Right.
9 to 1. Now, when that starts happening, if that should cascade across the country, you have a rapidly bankrupt Obamacare.
What do you think of the president's speech on surveillance? So among the changes, we're now, he says, not going to be spying on some foreign heads of state, but we're going to continue to be spying on American citizens. Isn't that exactly backwards?
Well, I think it is. I mean, I don't think there's any constitutional grounds to spy on people unless you have a warrant because there's some suspicious activity, and you should present that to the third branch of government and say, we think Tucker Carlson is up to something. Here's the evidence, at least the prima facie evidence to indicate that something's going on. Otherwise, the government has no business snooping. And I know people say, but it's for our safety. When you give up your liberty to keep your liberty, how does that make sense? Right. It doesn't make sense. So I believe from the beginning that there's got to be some reining in of these programs. The idea that you're going to collect this much data is like the needle in the haystack. When you make the haystack that big, you'll never find the needle.
Well, that is true.
And I mean, I'm totally on board with rolling a lot of these things back. The president didn't even talk about the text messaging that the NSA is doing, the email portion of this. Only thing that was mentioned was the phone call storage of the information from the phone calls. And meanwhile, the NSA is going to continue to have access to this information for the next 2 months while they figure out who's going to hold on to this information. So only one part of it is being addressed. The president made no comments about any of the other part of the surveillance programs.
And people need to remember that one of the concerns about the Edward Snowden affair was that here a young contractor, not even officially that tied to the government, was able to access extraordinary amounts of information and use it in a way that could be hurtful to people. What says that some rogue employee doesn't decide to go data mining, pull out a bunch of information on a person running for public office and say, if you don't drop out of this race or if you don't take a particular position, I'm going to release the following things of information. I mean, this has implications that people ought to stop, take a deep breath, and think about before they say, oh, it's okay, I've not done anything. It's not what you've done, it's what everyone has done collectively, and whether we ever want to put someone in the position of giving them the kind of power over their fellow citizens. And I think the answer should be absolutely not.
Well said. Governor, who's on your show tonight?
Well, Mitch McConnell is going to be on. We'll talk to him about the latest attack on the coal industry, because it affects Kentucky, but it affects a lot of people across the country. And we're also going to have, this is the week, you know, for the March for Life. We have a mother who was told by her doctor that she needed to get an abortion for her baby or she would go blind. She refused the abortion. She did go blind, but she's here to tell the story that it was still the most powerful and most important decision she's made, and she'd do it again.
Wow. Governor Huckabee tonight.
I'll watch that.
8 p.m. on the Fox News Channel. Governor, great to see you.
Thanks a lot.
Great to
Governor.
be here. Thanks.